On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport. The Boeing 777, carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members, was destined for Beijing, China. It was a routine flight on a familiar route. However, this seemingly ordinary journey would soon transform into one of the most perplexing mysteries in aviation history. The flight departed at 12:41 a.m. local time and was expected to land in Beijing at 6:30 a.m. The first leg of the flight proceeded without incident. The crew made routine contact with air traffic control, and there were no indications of trouble. As MH37 approached Vietnamese airspace, it vanished from radar screens. The disappearance of MH37 sent shockwaves across the globe. It left families desperate for answers and authorities baffled by the lack of clues. What happened to MH37? Where did it go? These questions continue to haunt the world even years after the event. The last confirmed communication with MH37 occurred at 1:19 a.m. while the aircraft was over the South China Sea. The message, a routine handover from Malaysian to Vietnamese air traffic control, gave no indication of any problems on board.
"Good night, Malaysian 370, were the last words heard from the cockpit, chilling in their normalcy."
Shortly after this final transmission, MH37 disappeared from civilian radar screens. This disappearance, while unusual, was not initially a cause for alarm. It was assumed that the aircraft had simply lost radar contact, a situation that can occur for various reasons. However, as minutes turned into hours with no further communication from MH37, concern began to escalate. Attempts to contact the aircraft by both Malaysian and Vietnamese air traffic control were met with silence. The world watched and waited for any sign of the missing plane. Immediately after MH37 was declared missing, a massive search and rescue operation was launched. The initial search efforts focused on the South China Sea, the area where the plane was last detected by radar. Ships and aircraft from multiple countries, including Malaysia, Vietnam, and China, combed the area. The search zone was vast and the conditions challenging. The South China Sea, known for its unpredictable weather and strong currents, made the task even more difficult. Days turned into weeks, and still there was no sign of the missing aircraft. As the search in the South China Sea proved fruitless, investigators began to consider other possibilities. The lack of a distress call or any indication of a problem on board deepened the mystery. The search area was expanded to include the Andaman Sea and the Strait of Malacca. Section 4. Satellite Data, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. As the search efforts continued, investigators turned their attention to a new source of information: satellite data. While MH37's communication systems had gone silent, its Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, or ACARS, had continued to send automated signals to a satellite. Analysis of this data, conducted by Inmarsat, a British satellite telecommunications company, revealed that MH37 had continued flying for several hours after its last contact with air traffic control. The data also indicated that the plane had flown south over the Indian Ocean, far off its intended flight path. This revelation dramatically shifted the focus of the search. The South China Sea was abandoned as a search area, and resources were redirected to a remote stretch of the southern Indian Ocean. The discovery of MH37's likely flight path, while a breakthrough, presented new challenges. The search area was now even larger and more remote, making the task ahead even more daunting. Section 5. Debris discovered, pieces of a puzzle. Months after MH37 vanished, pieces of debris began washing ashore on the coasts of Reunion Island, Madagascar, Mozambique, and South Africa. These fragments, later confirmed to be from the missing aircraft, provided tangible evidence of the plane's fate. The debris, which included a flaperon, a part of the wing, a cabin window, and pieces of the interior, offered crucial clues about the plane's final moments. Analysis of the debris suggested that the plane had likely broken apart upon impact with the water, although the exact cause of the crash remained unknown. The discovery of debris, while heartbreaking, brought some closure to the families of those on board. It also provided investigators with physical evidence that could help them piece together the events that led to the tragedy. However, the vastness of the search area and the lack of a definitive crash site continued to hinder efforts to locate the main wreckage.